Hello, welcome to week 42 of 2022. We have 11 weeks left, which is bonkers. My name is Stacy. Welcome to Reads of an Apple. And I'm wearing my Broncos jersey because the Broncos played today. The Avalanche also played today, so I decided to wear my Avs earrings. I was debating on which jersey I wanted to wear, but the Broncos only play 17 times, and they're not doing so hot. But the Avalanche play 82 games in the regular season, so I figured I might as well wear my Broncos jersey and save wear and tear for one day on an Avs jersey. So I'm wearing these. The Bronco game starts in about 15 minutes, but I have my Avalanche on. They are my number one. I'll probably put the football game up on my tablet or something. We'll see what I end up doing, but my focus will be on the Avalanche because they are my boys. But I'm wearing a football jersey. You might think it's Sunday, but surprise, it's Monday. I did not do an update this weekend. I thought about doing it last night, and then I wanted to read instead, so I did that. And then I made a large milk chai because I needed some tea and I wanted something spicy. So I went with a chai. So we have a lot to talk about. I got several packages of mail today that I want to open. We have the quest calendar to catch up on, and I read quite a few books since I filmed my closing clip for last week. So let's just start off with the quest calendar. If this is your first weekly vlog that you are watching, I have been doing the 2022 Gates of Terralon quest calendar. This is created by Sundial Games. This is a daily calendar based off of tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, D20 based systems. And just kind of a brief rundown. This is the World Watcher, and he tasked us to travel from world to world, and these are different gates that you see. What happened is the gate to the demon world broke apart, shattered, something happened to it, and shards of this gate are going into every other world. So we have been tasked to go to all these other worlds and collect all these gate pieces so we can put together the world gate to the demon world. It's not said 100% what will happen, but it kind of gave off the vibes like the universe will implode if we don't do this. So that has been our task. We are currently in a snow-based world, but before we get into our daily calendar stuff, I have been playing as Savani Moonchaser. This is her. She is as you can tell, feline in race. So she is a cat person and with the class of monk. And she is so much fun to be playing. I also did get a notice that they are getting ready to kind of assemble, and they're starting the final steps of the 2023 calendar, which I backed on Kickstarter earlier this year. They're always linked below, Sundial Games. I'm sure there's late pledges or just you can purchase it by now. And it should be shipping in the next month or so. But next year's theme is like sci-fi space opera. So, okay, so a brief rundown of the pages. If you are new, if you are not, I'm sorry, I know. I have a long blurb that we have to get through as we get through the year. So this is what a page looks like. Saturdays and Sundays are combined. We usually have some fun artwork. Then all of the script type font is the story that we are reading. And then any mechanics or choices that we have to make are usually in like a normal brick type, not brick, block style font, and it's usually in a box. If it is something where we are going to have to be doing combat, there will usually be a small table that will tell you how many rounds, how many creatures, and then what the rules are that are needed. But then all of the information that you need is on the back of the previous day's page. So last week we saved some people who were thrown in a surprise prison in an ice temple. So today, okay. And then all of the information we need for today is on the back of yesterday's page. So this is Saturdays and Sundays, and it looks like we are going to be fighting 3 different ice golems. So, and this is perfect to show you. It says golem 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it'll say round 1, 2, 3, and it looks like we'll have to do an attack roll, a damage roll, and then possibly a strength roll. But let's see what it says. You enter the grand hall of the ice temple and discover large ice golems. It seems your trespassing has been noticed. They do not look like they are here to escort you out nicely. Oh, probably not. But that is okay. And it looks like... So we've got 3 golems. And look, there's like a little dragon ice guy in the back. He's cute. He's probably not our friend, but he's cute. Okay. Let's just get into it. All right. So let me look at the back of the page just in case there's any other information. So... the puck is about to drop. Go Avs go. They're playing Minnesota tonight. This is game 3 of the season. Okay. All right. No other extra information. So golem number 1, and we will roll our D20. And this is a little mini D20. And it came with the set. It came with a little normal 7 die set. And they're so little and cute. So my attack roll is a plus 11. So we will add that to what we roll, which is a 19, so 30. Okay, if your attack roll is 17 or more, you hit the ice golem. All right, so now we roll damage. And arc damage is currently 2d12 plus 4. So I've got my d12. I got a really blurry d12. Alrighty, so 3 and 7. So 10, so 14 total damage. If you hit and your damage roll is 13 or more, the ice golem dies. Cool, so we killed the first ice golem. On to golem number 2, attack roll. And this one is a 16, so we are at 27. For number 2, if we needed an attack roll of 18 or more, so we do hit. So once again, damage. And that is a 4. And it rolled behind my stuff. And an 8, so we've got 12 plus I4, so 16 damage. Alright, if you hit and your damage roll is 13 or more, which it is, the ice golem dies, so we've killed the second ice golem as well. And then on to ice golem number 3. And that is an 8, but we are at a 19. And if your attack roll is 18 or more, you hit the ice golem. Cool, so we hit the last guy. And so damage on the last one is a 10. Nice. And, an 11. Wow, we are just going all out on this dude for the last round. So that's 25 damage to ice golem number 3. And we just needed 12 or more to kill him. So we killed all 3 ice golems. So we collect 3 gold in reward. So I'm just going to get this marked down here. Alrighty, so that was this weekend's pages. So let's see what today's Monday's page is. Once again, we fought those 3 ice golems. And today, okay. So we've been looking for the priestess of this area. And I'm guessing she's who we are looking for. What are you doing here in this sacred temple? The ice priestess Gemma stands observant. She readies her magic to summon more ice golems if she senses trouble from you. I will not ask you again. Why are you trespassing here? So number 1, converse with the Ice Priestess. And then 2A is either kill her, or 2B is side with her. So we will see what she has to say here. Okay, I'm going to take a drink because we got a paragraph of text. I love chai tea. I just love any tea. Okay, so number 1, converse with Gemma. I don't take kindly to those who break the law or those who interfere with my prisoners. Did you know one of the prisoners, or did you fall victim to the rumors of people disappearing? As an outsider, you don't know what this town was like before I arrived. Families are no longer freezing to death in the cold because I provide shelter to everyone through creative uses of my ice magic. I increase security in the city with my ice golems. No longer do the people need to fear their neighbors who would rob and kill each other over supplies. My methods may seem cruel, but the results speak for themselves. Judge what you will, but this city needs me. Our options are kill the priestess or side with the priestess. Can I just not deal with her? No, we have to choose. I don't want to kill her, but I don't want to side with her. But I trust the little eye monster that tasked us with finding her, because he said she was ruining things in the town. And she's not doing a good job. I definitely think she needs to be reprimanded, but killing is a big thing. But I don't want to side with her either. I don't like this. All right. I think I don't know what was just happening, but there was a pile of people in front of the Minnesota net. All right. So, I guess I don't want to kill her. I guess I'm going to side with her. I don't particularly want to side with her, but I guess because those are our 2 options, that's what we're going to go for. So, betray Tasseldon and side with the priestess. I don't want to. You are not the first victim of Tasseldon's lies, but perhaps you could be its last. It has plagued the people of this city for far too long. I have something to give you for when you return to confront the creature. May the blessing of Zima, the goddess of winter and preservation, protect you. Gain 1 virtue point. We are already at our max of +10. Make note of this decision to side with the priestess. So I guess we did the right thing because we got a positive virtue point. So maybe we aren't supposed to trust Tasseldon very much as either. So, all right. That was the hard decision for me, but we made it. We're good. All right. I'm going to... I made notes of everything that I needed to talk about. So, I have 4 packages to unbag. I'd say unbox, but technically they're in bags. One is, technically I know what all of them are, but I mentioned last week that I finally kind of caved a little bit on my mostly book buying ban, and I made an order from Thrift Books, and I got 2 of the packages today. They had a sale going on last week, so I know what books I ordered, but I don't actually know which ones are here. Then I finally got a signed book that I pre-ordered, which you've probably heard me ramble about her before because I am obsessed with her, and I will talk about her more when we open that package. And then I have Heartless by Elsie Silver, which came out last Friday. So maybe we'll do that one first. So. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I love it. I love it. I cannot wait to read it. I have it checked out on KU. I checked it out right away. Oh, look at the designs on the pages on this one. Oh, so fun. I should mention, because if you saw one of my previous vlogs when I was talking about Heartless before, she created special edition covers that have this old-timey Western feel, and they were hardcover special editions. I saved we're not even 4 minutes into the game and there's a fight going on, but we're playing against Minnesota tonight, which is one of our big rivals, so I'm not surprised. I mean, and it's not a fight, but there's some jostling and shaking of collars. It's a pushing on faces. Oh my god, guys, I love hockey. I love hockey. But back to Heartless. I have this I checked it out from KU on Friday because I wasn't sure, because this hadn't shipped yet. I didn't get the notification until this weekend that it shipped, so I need to get to this ASAP. I just have too much going on, and it doesn't work for any of my Bing in the Night spooky ones. But I will be getting to this at the very least in the beginning of November when I have some time to mood read. But I cannot wait. Oh, what I was saying. So she had some special edition covers created that were only in hardback. However, they were supposed to have some like frayed edges, or edges that look like they were kind of like burned. And the copies that were coming out in the hardcover didn't have those. And so she explained, I don't know if I saw this in her Facebook group or on Instagram, but she said that she's pulling those down, and if you want to return those editions, you can. I hadn't bought them yet because I'm not the biggest fan of hardbacks. I would have bought them, but I was waiting till I found my new place, and then I was going to buy them both, and I was going to get both Heartless and Flawless at the same time. But anyway, because the artwork isn't working for the way that Amazon does hardbacks, she's going to be changing them over to paperbacks, which she did say that quite a few people were like, I'd rather have it in paperback. So I'm very excited. It has not gone live yet. I will let you know once the notification has gone up that it's live, but I'm very, very excited for Heartless. And those special cover editions are gorgeous. And I kind of hope she does special edition covers for Off to the Races as well. But we will see. And then I do know, because I am a part of all of her newsletters and everything, Powerless comes out in February, which is the third book in this series. And it is going to be, she has the sneak peek at the end, Powerless. It is going to be Jasper's book, who is not one of the brothers, but who is one of the brothers' friends who is a hockey player. And I love the way that Elsie wrote the equestrian sports romances and the like rodeo sports romances. So I am excited to see what she does with Jasper. I was immediately intrigued by him, but as I have been talking about, I am a hockey fan, and Elsie lives in Canada. So I know that she's not, even if she's not a big hockey person herself, she at least has grown up in a culture where hockey is like the #1 sport. So I can't wait to read this. It's got a weird, why is it separated there? 230. Oh, that's almost the middle of the book. Oh, I just love Elsie Silver, so I can't wait to read that. Okay. Then we'll do with this package. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Now this is also a new release that I pre-ordered from the author's Etsy. I will link it down below. This is a fantasy romance, and it is a fairy tale retelling. And it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Oh, it's a lot bigger. The Ugly Stepsister by Megan Van Dyke. This is the second book in her reimagined fairy tale series. I read the first book. It came out January or February this year. I read it a couple months ago. It's called Second Star to the Left. It's a Peter Pan retelling. That's a romance between Tinkerbell and Captain Hook. I gave it 5 stars. I am obsessed with it. This is the second book. And it is signed. Although, oh, that's right. I also pre-ordered it with a swag pack, so I should also have coming, but I was like, oh no, it's not in here, but she did say that ships via just regular snail mail. So I think there's like a bookmark and an art print and maybe something else, but I don't remember 100%, but I do have a swag pack also coming. But here is The Ugly Stepsister. I cannot wait to read it. I cannot wait to read it. Ugh. So, this book, if you have not heard me go crazy over this book is a Cinderella retelling, but I'm just going to read the back of it because me trying to explain it, I could just read you the blurb now. So, here we go. Let's see. Only Anna knows the truth about Cinderella. The pauper turned queen wasn't the victim, but the bully. Ah! Anna fled when the castle guards came to arrest her mother and sister on Cinderella's orders, but leaving them in bondage at the fairy godmother's workhouse? Out of the question. Disguised as a young man and taking the name of Ansel, she'll do whatever it takes to free her family and set the record straight. Hi! Will, a former royal huntsman, was nearly killed for dissenting Cinderella's rise as queen in the wake of the sudden death of the king and his son. He hatches a plan to take Cinderella down and encounters Ansel, who wants revenge just as much as he does. Drawn together by a common goal and burgeoning feelings neither can ignore, Will and Ansel enact a plan to assassinate the queen. But when that goes awry and buried secrets come to light, they'll have to choose, continue running from their past or accept themselves in order to forge a new future together. I am so excited. I'm so freaking excited to read this. I will show you when I get the swag pack, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And I love that it's Anna, so it's clearly the stepsister that's Anastasia, which is my full name. I am ready for this. And I love the woman disguised as a man when she's like going into hiding for some reason. And I'm not the biggest fan of Cinderella retellings, but this I have been super excited for. I have been waiting. I bought it. I was waiting to buy it in ebook because I bought the paperback and I wanted to read it. But I was going to wait and see if I got this before I actually had time to pick it up. And if not, I was just going to buy the ebook too. But I'm so excited to read this. If you could not tell. I don't remember if Second Star to the Left was bigger, but it definitely is bigger. And I'm excited. If I remember correctly, I think the third book in the series she mentioned in a newsletter or something, I think it has something to do with who was it? I want to say it was Alice in Wonderland, but I can't remember. Okay, so there's that. I'll try to stop gushing. So we've got 2 thrift books packages to open. And I'm going to take out, I made a note of what I ordered and marked like where they were, if they were supposed to be coming together, so I can make sure that everything came, and almost everything I ordered in very good condition. I don't do very good usually don't order from thrift books unless it's in very good condition. But it feels like there are 3 of these each, so I have 5 more books still on the way. So just gonna pick one. Oh, perfect. I opened it so it was like that. So we will all be surprised together. So book number 1. Oh yeah, very great condition. So this is Back to the Bedroom by Jill Shalvis, one of her Harlequin books. Oh my gosh. Jill Shalvis is one of my favorite contemporary authors, and I found when they had their sale, I went through my Jill Shalvis list, and they had a lot of her Harlequin books on sale in really good condition, part of the like thrift books deals as well, and they weren't exorbitantly priced. Sometimes popular authors, their old Harlequins and silhouettes will go for like $9-10 on thrift books, even if they're used, but these ones were all still the like normal $3. So Back to the Bedroom. And then this one, My Kind of Wonderful. This is one of the Cedar Ridge trilogy. And this is all based on, it's been a while since I read this series, but this series was set on like an adventure getaway cabin kind of in the mountains where there was like a main house and then little guest house. And so this is one of the books in that trilogy. And then the other book in here. Okay, so one of my favorite Hallmark Christmas movies is The 9 Lives of Christmas. I did not realize it was a book until last year, so I have been waiting for thrift books to have this in a decent condition, and I figured I might as well pick it up. Look, I'm guessing that's Ambrose. But I'm excited to read this. I don't know how clean it's going to be. I feel like this was written before being turned into... it's by St. Martin's. I feel like this was written before it was turned into a Hallmark movie. Sometimes it's the opposite, but I'm excited to read this and compare how it is. So I will be picking this up during Christmas time for sure. Okay, so there's those 3. And then we will look. Let's see. So and this said, so the other 2 said, so this said very good condition, which this is more like new. No creases. That's great. This one was supposed to be like new. I mean, I'd put it more as like very good because it's pretty creased on the side. I don't know. You can't really tell that with the color of it, but it works. And then this was only good condition, but honestly, this is really good. I mean, it's got some visible cracks, but there's not too much damage on it, so I'm pleased with that one. Okay, and then this one. Alrighty, this is one of the Harlequin anthologies, and this is Holiday Hideout, and it's got Vicki Lewis Thompson, who I'm a big fan of her cowboy romances, and Jill Shalvis, and then also Julie Kenner. And this one, the Jill Shalvis book, is The Christmas Setup, and this is, I think, Architects, Yep, 2 architects stranded in a snowstorm. I've read this a while ago, but I love Jill Shalvis. I've been wanting to work on collecting all of her Harlequins and silhouette novels because I have most of her mass market paperbacks except for her older series. So I am definitely happy. It does have a bend on the front. This one, this is Holiday Hideout. Said it was supposed to be very good. I'd consider this more just good because it does have a couple of cracks on the side. I mean, I don't like that one, but it's fine. It's fine. And then, oh god, I wasn't sure if I'd get the actual artwork cover. So Wicked Deeds on Winter's Night. This is the 3rd book in Immortals After Dark, of which I just read the 2nd one, and I found out I had books. I have books 1 in the prequel and 2, and then book 5 in paperback. So I needed to get these ones, and I was hoping I would get this one. I checked all the ISBNs, so I'm happy that this one actually came in the cover I wanted. And we'll see. I might try to pick this up really soon here. It's Bowen's book. Okay. All right. Fun. So there are, okay, so that was actually just 5 books, but that is okay. So I have 1 package coming that has 1 book, and then another package that has 5 books that should be here. So hopefully those will come soon. And that is it I have for those. So to finish this very long update, because I just cannot stop talking at you, let's talk about the books I read this weekend. Okay, so late Friday night, I did finish, as I just said, No Rest for the Wicked, Kresley Cole. This is the 2nd book in Immortals After Dark. 5 stars. I love this. I'm not going to go too much into it because I read this for the Love in the Night readathon, so I'll save all my thoughts for that. You can check it out up above. I did a weekly vlog for all the books I read for it, and I love Sebastian. I love Catherine. I love the Amazing Race stuff. I am intrigued. I'm hoping that we deal more with it in Bowen's book because he was a part of that Amazing Race thing. And I just love this. 5 stars. And I'm just going to slowly keep chipping away and try not to let myself go down a rabbit hole because I can't quite do that yet, but we'll see. Maybe in the beginning of November, once I get to Heartless and the Ugly Stepsister, I'll go on Immortals After Dark binge, but we will see what happens. But 5 stars. 4. Fall in Love. I use this for the prompt romance that's part of a series with 3 or more books in it. For Bang in the Night, I use this for full moon on the cover or step back on the cover. For Bang in the Night, I've also been doing, if you have not seen me chat about this or my blog posts about it, the templates for the mini reviews have a spot for a theme song. This year I have chosen to choose all from Frank Sinatra, but he has such a massive discography. I just am picking songs from the 5 reprise rarity volumes that were re-released in, or I guess released, recompiled and released in 2021 and 2020 and 2021. So the song that I chose for No Rest for the Wicked is Anytime I'll Be There. For Color Me Romantic, which is a quarterly challenge I'm doing with the Romance Readers Reading Challenges group on Goodreads, I use this for the prompts for Red, which is red on the cover, or a passionate and intense character, which this qualifies for all 3 of those. And then, oh, and then I also use this for Love in the Night, but I'll leave for what it went for those in the vlog. So, No Rest for the Wicked. Loved it. Okay. Then, the final book I picked up for the Love in the Night readathon was Darkest Night by Alessa Thorne. This is the first book in her Mercenaries and Magic series. I've been wanting to get back into Alessa Thorne. It's been a while since I read her. I binged the first 5 or 6 books in her Court of the Underworld series back in Feb of 2021 and have been meaning to read more of her books. She has come out with a lot of books since then. This wasn't even a thing when I started reading her. Her Fae Universe series weren't even a thing yet, and she was just starting to talk about writing Gods of the Duat trilogy. So I am super behind in Alessa Thorne's backlist. I can't believe it's been like a year and a half since I last read her books. This is a dark paranormal romance. Definitely check out my reading vlog for Love in the Night. Once again, I gush about this book. 5 stars. I forgot how much I loved Alessa Thorne. I am very excited. She mentioned in a newsletter recently, the first 2 books for this series are out. I plan on reading the second book soon. And she plans on writing books 3 and 4 sometime in 2023. And she said that's what she's going to be working on next. I've already seen the cover for book 3. I cannot wait. Even though I haven't been reading her, I have been following all of her newsletters and stuff. So, I love this. 5 stars. Athena, so freaking kick-ass. I loved Khan. This was very much like Tomb Raider. It also kind of gave me the same vibes. There was a fantasy series I used to read by Alex Archer that was, it had like 30 something, 40 something books. The first book is Rogue Angel, and maybe that's the name of the series as well. But the main female character in that book was like a reincarnation, or she somehow found Joan of Arc's sword, and she was like a historian, archaeologist. And this, I think, follows that, but she's more of the mercenary and less of the historian part of it. So think Lara Croft Tomb Raider, but raised by mercenaries with paranormal stuff thrown in. I don't know. It's so fun. It's fun. I love it. So for Fall in Love, I use this for Book Bestie's favorite trope. For Bang in the Night, I use this for Murder, She Wrote. And the song I chose was Frank Sinatra's Old Devil Moon. This is from the 5th volume. For Color Me Romantic, I use this for Royal Blue, which one of the options for the prompt is set in Europe. And while they do go outside of Europe, most of this takes place in Europe. And those are the ones that I applied this to that are not Love in the Night. Okay, then I picked up another paranormal. I read this Saturday night, but I did not include it with Love in the Night. Oh, hey, look. Woo! The apps just scored. They're up 2-1. Hey, hey, hey. Nice. Good, good, good. All right. I picked up on KU. Darkest Night is on KU. I forgot to mention that. Riding the Headless Horseman. This is by Molly Lukovich. I saw a couple people talking about this book on Instagram and like spooky recommendations and the spooky Halloween novella recommendations. So I picked it up because I thought it might be interesting. I gave it 2 stars. The character made some questionable choices to me, and I really struggled trying to figure out how the Headless Horseman looked. Like, he was see-through, but then he also looked like smoke, but then he also had stars like a night sky, but then he didn't have a head. But then if he's like smoky, see-through, how is he like able to physically touch her and stuff? And then she was weirdly able to talk to his horse. And I don't know, there was some really weird choices made with the story, and there is some warnings. There is some light BDSM kind of stuff, and I just didn't understand why he was pushing so hard for her to call him master right away, and like, she wasn't fighting him that hard. So, and I didn't like that these BDSM elements were introduced. I'm not a big fan of them. But I also didn't like that he was like, I don't know, he felt dominating in a bad way to me. So there wasn't any like safe words established, or even just safety parameters that she could even trust, that if she said no to something that was really actually harming her, that he would stop. And then she ran away, and he thought she ran away and got all depressed. And she was finding his head so he could have a head because she really wanted to kiss him. I was just like, I don't know. It was weird. And not in a good way for me. So 2 stars. For Fall in Love, I use this for small town romance, because technically it's set in a small town. For Bake in the Night, I use this for This Is Halloween, because it's set on All Hallows Eve. The song I chose was from the 2nd volume of Reprise Rarities, The Girls I've Never Kissed, because this poor dude was killed super early during the Salem witch trials for being a wizard, and never really got to kiss anybody or do anything, so I chose that one because I didn't really know what else of the songs to pick for this. Then for Color Me Romantic, I used it for Teal, and that is an animal on the cover or in the story, and he has a horse. It's on the cover and it's in the story. So there. I read that Saturday night and was kind of disappointed in it. So Sunday, I did not start reading it till later in the afternoon, but I needed to pick up The Red Lotus. This is I keep saying The Red Lotus, but it is The Lotus Palace, and the cover is red. It's stuck in my brain as The Red Lotus. This is by Jeannie Lin. This is the first book in her Ping Kong Lee Mysteries series. And I had mentioned in my TBR that I was pretty sure I had this, but I don't. I have her other Harlequin series, which is Tang Dynasty. And I have the first couple books in that in paperback. The first one is Butterfly Swords. If you're looking for more Chinese historical romance, those were excellent. But I enjoyed this book so much. It felt, and this is going to sound weird, but it was so nostalgic for me, because in high school, in middle school and high school, I pretty much stopped watching American TV, and I pretty much just watched like anime and Japanese variety shows. And then I got into their like more drama TV shows. And then I joined Drama Fever, or I found Drama Fever and Vicky. And the only thing I pretty much watched for the most part in high school and in college and for several years after that was Korean dramas, Chinese dramas, Taiwanese dramas, and Japanese variety shows. And most of the Chinese dramas I watched were the historical Chinese dramas. And a lot of them had like a fantasy kind of element to it, but not all of them. I love historical K-dramas too, but it's just so fascinating to me because it's not a history that I learned a lot growing up in until I went to college, and then I was able to take like Japanese history and Chinese history and stuff like that. But so it just felt very nostalgic for me because so much of my life was, watching 30 episodes, 36 episode Chinese dramas that just had this same kind of vibe. And it just felt, I don't know, it just felt so cozy to me. And I love this. I give this 4.5 stars. It was just really, really good. And I cannot wait to talk with everybody. I hope everybody else loved it. It's definitely slower. I gave it 4.5 stars because I did want a little bit more from the romance, but at the same time, I also couldn't dock it a full down to a 4-star because there wasn't very much. Like, it made sense why they didn't push it. Although I feel like from what I've seen and what I've learned, it kind of pushes it a bit with her situation and the fact that she is not owned, and that the, I don't know, like, den mother that runs the house, the courtesan house that her sister is in, hasn't tried to just make her slave and just allows her to be free, so to speak. And she's choosing to stay with her sister, who is a courtesan. There is a really lovely author's note in the beginning of the book that talks about how, you know, especially in these historical settings, courtesans and prostitutes were completely different things. And there were and it's kind of similar to geisha, and she gets a little snarky in her author's note where people call them Chinese geishas, but they actually were a thing before geishas were created in Japan. And, you know, back then China was trying to rule everybody. There was also some references to Goryeo, which is a historical Korea too, and I'm just like, oh. So, I don't know, I thought it was super fun, and I don't know, I just really, really enjoyed it. So 4.5 stars. And I'm excited, and I hope other people who read it for Rake Appreciation also loved it as well. I just wanted a little bit more from the romance, and I wanted to feel a little bit more of the emotional development between them. I felt like at times it relied a little bit too much on the physical, but there was so much else going on with the world that I also understood where she was blocking herself off so much from him, from Bai Huang, and so that was like one area where she would capitulate a little bit, is their physical intimacy. So he was like using that as a foot in to really get close to her. So that's why I couldn't dock it fully down to 4 stars, because I understood the reasonings why the situation was occurring the way it was from like a third party perspective of the story and plot kind of a way. I also am not the biggest fan of mysteries, so but I definitely do want to read the next book. There is a novella. There's quite a few novellas in this series, but book 2 is her sister, Mi Kyung, and Constable Wu. I am here for Constable Wu. I'm very excited. So I definitely want to continue my Jeannie Lin journey. I still need to finish her Tang Dynasty series as well. But if you have read it, don't trust me. I do not know. I know very, very basic Chinese from Chinese people who lived on the floor that I did, who were a part of the same study abroad program when I studied abroad in Japan. So it was a very international school. So half the students were Japanese and half were foreigners. So I made a lot of friends from a lot of different Asian countries. So I reached out to a couple of them just to kind of help with my pronunciation and make sure. So I'm pretty sure that it is Bai Huang is his name. Obviously, it is an Asian name, so Bai is his family name, his last name. Huang is his first name, but they switched them in Asian languages. And then she is Yu Ying. So I think that's correct. And that means moon something. I can't remember what it means, but somebody was like, oh. And he calls her Little Moon, and it's super cute. But I will stop rambling you about it. 4, Fall in Love. I had to shift this to the second bingo board and I put it for warm tone colors on the cover. For A Bang in the Night, I used this for a BIPOC romance. And the song I chose is Come Waltz With Me. They don't actually dance, but the sentiment of the song, outside of the fact that he wants the woman to come waltz with him, I really felt the way that Huang was trying to get Yu Ying to like open up to him, and it just come on, just come on, just dance with me for a minute, and like that kind of a vibe. So that's why I chose that. And then for Color Me Romantic, I used it for the prompt for Black, which is a mystery. One of the options is mystery in the story. And this also works for my Yahtzee reading challenge. And the rules that I made this month for October, I ended up doing 3s, which is a 3-word title or third book in the series. And this is a 3-word title. So I'm done with my Yahtzee for the month as well. So yeah, and there's all that. This has been a very long update. I have talked a lot at you, but there was a lot we had to get through. And I tried not to be too blabby about some things. And I know some things I went super quick on, but we'll see. We got 4 days left, so hopefully I can get the rest of this week quick. And there won't be too much else to do. Oh, I should tell you. I needed to crochet this past weekend and I did not crochet. So I plan on crocheting during the rest of the game tonight. And I will show you once I finish it what I am making. But I was looking at my Bang in the Night to see what else I needed because I have a little bit of time before I need to pick up one of my book club books. So I decided to go with... I'm shifting gears a little bit. This is a contemporary romance, but I'm going to pick up Safe With You, and this is by Jenny Bunting. She has this on the book title. It's called a Gold Heart novella, but Gold Heart is the city where the Finch family series is set. So I'm counting this as like 2.5 in the Finch family. The main character is Eugene, also known as Thumper, and he is best friends with Cameron, who's in the first book of the Finch family, and then we also see him in the second book as well, but he's best friends with Cameron from the first book. And I picked this up because I needed something for characters in costume, and there is a little snippet in book number 2, Gold Rush, that he and other people, but I know his main romantic interest in this are at the local bank, and a woman holds up the bank, and she's wearing a chicken costume. So I was like, oh, I know somebody wears a costume, and it's a shorter book, so I can get through it quickly. So I plan on picking that up later tonight, and I'm excited to read more Jenny Bunting for sure. But yeah, I think that's it. Let me look. Yep, that is all I have for you for today. So this clip is almost an hour. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I will see you all tomorrow. Hello. Cheese and I are here to make an update. She's just purring away. Happy Tuesday. Are you just gonna get cozy? Okay. So I don't have too many updates. I planned on starting Safe With You last night and I ended up not. The Bronco game, I'm glad I did not even watch it. But because I watched the Avalanche game, I listened to the radio post-game show for the Broncos. I'm really happy I watched the Avalanche game instead because the Broncos aren't doing too hot. But the Avs won 6-3, and that was fun. So I did not start it because when I laid down in bed and listened to my radio shows, I could hardly even keep my eyes and ears awake long enough for those. So I ended up not reading because I crashed as soon as those were over. You are just happy as can be, aren't you? My goodness. She has been on my lap several times tonight. Okay. I'm gonna put you down. Oh my gosh. You are shedding like a maniac. A little kitty maniac. So, I finally did start the birthday present that I have mentioned that I need to make. It's a tail on my face. And so, I am a good chunk of the way done. I have the little finishing details, but it's a person. So this eventually will be Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and this is an amigurumi style that's called mini amis. So what I have left to do is make her hairpiece and the little bun piece, and then her arms, and then I'll have a little sleeve detailing. But I have made some of the other detailing pieces. This just looks like a bunch of yarn, but what it is are different lengths of this ruffle. And so I have 3 of those, and then those will make, I put it on there upside down. Let's see if I can get it on here so it's not all twisted. So I have 3 different layers, so then there'll be 3 other ruffles besides the ruffle that's on her bottom. So I finally started her. She looks a little weird because this is all there is so far, but I'll get the arms made tomorrow and the hair, and then I'll do detailing. And then depending on how far her bangs come down, I usually try to do an eyebrow as well. I'll stitch over an eyebrow, but we'll see how much detailing she needs when it comes to it. So, you're sitting right next to me. I did get more book mail today. Today was the release for A Cosmic Kind of Love by Samantha Young. I've never read anything by Samantha Young before. I know that she's an author that people either love or aren't that fond of, and she's just kind of a middle of the road type of author. And a couple of her series do sound interesting, but I heard about this book. I saw a little, like, when she, like, little blurby thing, but it wasn't an official blurb. It was when she first started writing it. And I know that the hero is an astronaut. And that's what I remembered. And then she is like an event planner, and she communicates to him while he's on the space station or something like that. And so they do like video chatting or something like. So I just remember, I don't know, it was when I was super into like astronaut and science-y romances, and I was like, ooh, that sounds right up my boat. So I have had this pre-ordered since like January or February of this year, and it has been, the release date did get pushed back at some point, but I'm excited to read this. And I just love the cover. I don't know, I just love space and planets, and we've got a Saturn on here, and then it looks like a Jupiter because it's got the eye, but I mean, I'm hoping it's good, and I'm hoping I enjoy it. This is a traditionally published, as you can probably tell, so I do go in with lowered expectations for contemporary romance from a traditional publication than an indie publication, because I know that it won't necessarily have all the steam that indies do have. Also, in other fun news, this evening, shortly after I got home, I got the notification that the Patreon arcs for oh my gosh, which is it? Resting Witch Face. I was like, which stay a spell book? So I really want to pick that up next after I finish, or after I read the Safe With You novella. But I need to start Bitten as well for Smart Women Read Romance Patreon next Monday. And I'm kind of nervous about starting that one. So I think I'm going to read Safe With You and then pick up Bitten. And then I will have resting witch face if I struggle with bitten to kind of keep me from getting into a slump. But I want to get to it as soon as possible. I do know she has an ARC team as well. And I think if you're on the ARC team, I think she said in the note that yours are going out in a few days. But because I am a Patreon, I got an early ARC. So they aren't even done fully like editing for typos and stuff like that. But that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. So I'm just excited to read Jules and Ruben, and I gotta get through these 2 other books first and then I can get to them. But I'm very, very excited, not exciting. But otherwise, let's do the quest calendar. Alexa, dismiss. So yesterday we talked with the priestess and our options were either to kill her or betray the other dude. Two extremes. So, oh, okay. Unexpected. We get to choose a treasure. Fun. Okay, let's see what it says first. After having taken care of the ice priestess, you discover these gifts waiting for you at the altar as you leave the temple. Oh, this is what she said she was going to give us. Okay. So pick one treasure item to take with you. You can't have 2 of the same item types equipped at the same time. These items can be sacrificed upon death to resurrect your hero. See rules on death and magic equipment. Wait until you resolve the events of tomorrow before you cut out the token. Now, if you were doing the normal character sheet, the normal character sheets were in the beginning of this, so they are a paper. But since I have the hero book, they say wait to cut it out because tomorrow's information is on the back. So, but let's look at this. We've got the Ring of Ice, which is a +1 damage and +1 health. The Winter Shield, which is...
I'm not sure about that.
I wasn't talking to you. +1 damage and +1 defense. And then Ice Boots, which is +1 damage and +1 attack. So let me move things, because I did not think we'd have to flip through. Oh, I did. They did in an update note mention for next year's, because this is what they call the hero book. Yep, the hero book. So this is what my character sheet is in. And it's all in portrait style. And they did mention that for ease of flip through, next year's hero book is going to be landscape. So that will definitely, I didn't even think of something like, there definitely could be easier things, but for flip through, I wasn't even thinking about that. So let us see. So the only spaces I have free is the ring, the belt, and the shield. And there is a ring and the shield. So they both get +1 damage, but do we want health or defense? I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards the shield, and then that will leave us the ring and the belt for later. So, and I feel like defense is a good one to go with. So I'm going to take the Winter Shield. So +1 to damage and +1 to defense. So that'll up our defense up to 20, and our damage will now be 2d12 plus 5. Awesome. So I will get all of those stats transferred over onto my character sheet. And that was a very easy day for today. So that is all I have for you. I'm going to get my stuff together and get ready for bed. And I will see you all tomorrow on Wednesday. Hello, happy hump day. It is 6 o'clock on the dot, and puck drop is any minute, and I've got an hour until Rig Appreciation Society starts, so lots of stuff going on tonight. So I'm going to try to do quick updates. So I did actually start Safe With You last night. I am 46% in. I'm on chapter 6. I should definitely be able to finish it tonight. If I'm not up too late with my post-game shows, but I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely a little bit moving quicker. I had mentioned before when I wanted to pick it up that I knew there was like a bank robbery, so it's definitely forced proximity. But what's interesting is he has like a flip phone, and Thumper is very like anti-technology. He doesn't have a bank account. He pays everything in cash, and he's like very old school in that way. So he has this old flip phone, and he doesn't even text, and it's hilarious. But so they get put in the vault by the robber because they're the only other two people there outside of the bank teller, who ends up going with the bank robber. But because they get stuck in there, and of course she's having issues, and she talks about how her screen time since moving to Goldheart has gone bonkers, but she's like, I'm in a new town. I don't really have any friends. You can waste a lot of time on TikTok. So I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. And she's very like in the now feeling. But because she's trying to do better, and she like looked up all these blogs on how to reduce screen time and things like that. And so she left her phone in the car, and she was gonna, run her errands and do a couple things, and she uses her phone to take notes. So she's like stressed out that she doesn't have a notebook and she doesn't have her phone, so she can't take notes in the moment of the situation. But so not only are they in forced proximity, stuck in this vault, but with no other distractions outside of each other. They are able to get a signal by the bank teller's purse and coat was in there. And so they did have one bar. They were able to call the cops, but the cops were like, it might be a while before we get to you, so just hang tight, which is, is super funny because Thumper's like, yeah, we're a small town. Nothing fun ever happens. So everybody wants to get in on chasing this bank robber because that like never happens. On top of the fact that because we don't really get anything much happening in this area, they'll have to like look up all the protocols and stuff. So it'll be a little bit. So they're stuck in there for a couple hours. And I'm to the point where they just got out. So I'm intrigued to see how they kind of reconnect, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's definitely just flying by, and I'm excited to read more from Jenny Bunting. But otherwise, let's do the quest calendar. So yesterday we were leaving the temple, and I chose the winter shield as the treasure item to take. So today, okay, so we are going back to the Ice Palace where the gate shard is, and I think Tal Soldar was his name. Alrighty, so we are at we're at the Fro Ilgur up here. So we have to make our way back here. So when we went to Fro Ilgur from the Ice Palace, we took the northern route to go by this lake, and it ended up not really being a good option. So this time I'm going to go down, and we'll take the forest and go back. So that'll be the southern route, which is option B. So this will be a wisdom roll, and then reminder, survivalist, map and compass, and mount. So we do have a map and compass that gives us a +2. We do have a mount that gives us a +4. So a total of +6 plus our wisdom, which is a +3. So +9 to our D20 roll. Okay, so let's see what descriptions we might have first. So B, travel the southern route. The route takes you through the frozen forest where trees grow from the ground like ice crystals. Many strange life forms dwell here, but you don't see any. Alrighty. And that is a 5. So we're at a +9, so 14. And what do we need? Oh my gosh. If the result is 14 or more, you use some fallen twigs to build a fire and melt snow into fresh water. You need to consume 1 meal ration. If you do not have one, reduce your health by 1. And we have 1. because we found one in the temple when we were looting. So perfect. We are back down to 0. So hopefully next time we can go shopping, one of the places sells meal rations. All right. And that is it. So we are back at the Ice Temple, or Ice Palace. I never read you the description for this page. Okay, let me read that real quick. You head back east through the harsh cold to return to Tal Sudan and the Ice Palace. The weather fluctuates across the region as you travel. You will be glad to leave this frigid place. I mean, I myself am not, but I'm sure our character probably doesn't want to. So I will mark that we used our meal ration. And that is all I have for you. So I'm hoping the Avs win tonight. They're playing at home against the Winnipeg Jets. And we will see what happens, but I will see you all. Oh, I'm also going to try to finish Belle tonight. So I will definitely share when I have finished her. So I'll see you all later. Hello, happy Thursday. Happy, my watch is going off here. Happy Taylor Swift midnight today. I know technically it comes out on the 21st at midnight, but for me here in Colorado, it comes out at 10 p.m. tonight. I cannot wait. I'm going to be doing the 13 podcast. I'll link them down below. They're my favorite Taylor Swift podcast. I love them so much. They make me laugh. They teach me new things, and it's really fun because they are 4 Swifties who are all like joined the fandom from in different eras. And they're doing a live show tonight on Instagram and TikTok to celebrate the release, and we're all going to listen to it together for the first time. So I'm super duper excited. I don't know if I'd call myself a Swiftie, but I'm definitely a Taylor Swift fan, and I'm excited for new music, so let's freaking go. Last night was Rake Appreciation Society. It was a great blast as always. Also the Avalanche game, they lost in overtime. Let's not talk about that, but let's talk about what I worked on. I finished Belle. I officially have a Belle. She ended up super cute. I didn't do eyebrows because her bangs are pretty low. And then she's got the cute little bun and the little hair. And I pulled it to make it curved. So even if you take it off her shoulder, it still has a curve. So I kind of tightened it to make it curve and sit on her shoulder just perfect. But I am pretty pleased with how she turned out. So she is a long line of Disney princesses in this mini Ami form that I have made for my boss's granddaughter. And before she was in school, she came to work every day. So for a good portion there, I was half office assistant, half babysitter, and it's crazy that she's turning 8 and her birthday party is this weekend. But I have a lot going on, so I'm going to try not to talk too much. I will say I got my remaining Megan Van Dyke stuff for the Ugly Stepsister. So I'm just going to open it real quick here. And while I'm cutting this open, I did finish Safe With You by Jenny Bunting last night. This is, I'm going to give it 4 stars. I thought it was super cute. I had a good time. It was a little, I don't know, overly dramatic on what the heroine kind of had to choose for life choices to be dealt with in a novella, but I enjoy Jenny Bunting's writing, and I'm looking forward to seeing them kind of in the background, because we already got hints of them in Gold Rush, which is the second book in the Finch family series, and this one kind of runs concurrently. But I did enjoy this, so 4 stars, and I'll leave the rest of my ramblings about it for later. But so we'll start with the bookmark. So here is the bookmark. It is pretty much the cover from The Ugly Stepsister. And then on the back, it's got her website and handle. and then a very brief blurb about the book. So there we go. I still need to read this. And here's the artwork. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, she's holding the knife on him. Look at that. Oh, I love how fierce she is. And he's got this little smirk. I cannot wait to read this and understand the scene better in context, but already I'm loving it. I was thinking of doing a vlog because I really want to read this soon. I'm probably going to have to wait till November to do it. And I'm not going to force myself to read all these books in a week, so I'm probably just going to do an anticipated reads vlog again. But I've got an updated arc for from Juliet Cross. And I totally just lost the name. Resting Witch Face, which is Stay a Spell book 5. And then I have Victoria Aveline's Resisting Maxu, which is the 6th book, I think, in Cloclanians. That comes out November 2nd. And then I got in the newsletter today from Zoe Draven that Brides of the Kylor, which is her new sci-fi series, has on a cover now and is coming out November 1st. And I still have to read Heartless by Elsie Silver. So I'm thinking of doing a reading vlog of those 5 books. And I can just let it take however long until I get to them. But I do kind of want to touch base on, because those are my most anticipated reads for the most part for October and November. And I might split them up and pick up another book from October and another one from November. And then just do part 1 and part 2. But I don't know. I'm still working it in my brain. But because these are like such anticipated reads that I know I'm going to want to gush about all of them, I'm still deciding what to do. Then I actually ended up getting a package today, so I will share that with you. And it is from Enchanted Fandom. So this is my drinking vessel, which is a monthly box. I remember it's one of the Sarah J. Maas ones. I'll link the subscription box down below. It's $12 plus shipping. Mine comes out to around $20. And it's the next one, the November one, is Book Travert, and it's going to be a skinny tumbler. So I'm excited to see. So as always, this tells me who it's going to be. So we've got our recipe card that comes with it with 2 differents. One is Lorcan's Nighttime Drink, which is cranberry juice, apple juice, and cinnamon whiskey. I'm not a whiskey. I love directions. Stir and sip. It's like the easiest drink. And then the other one is a Leeds Daytime Drink, which is water, rosebuds, and 1 tea sachet. Okay, so it's a rose. It's only rose. Okay, yeah. It's a tea with just rosebuds. So it's a very simple. Those are both very simple drinks. So let us open and look at the cup. Oh, it's backwards. Perfect. Okay. So this is a Leiden Lurkin. Oh my gosh, look at him. And it is on both sides. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, I love that I love that he picked her up. Oh. And I love the size of these mugs. Like, this is a good sized mug. I don't know how much, but it's just like a good sized mug. Oh, it's so pretty. I have one with me. And then the rest are in storage. And then I think there's one more left in this series to come out after this. And then I have 3 more that I pre-ordered because they were the ones that I did not have already. So there's going to be 6 total. And then the final thing is we will do the quest calendar really quick. So yesterday we returned to the Ice Palace after dealing with the Iced Princess. Okay, yep. So we are back dealing with Tall Zoldan. So that is what he looks like if you did not see the previous week's vlog where we met him. You find Tall Zoldan in his palace room with the Terralon gate. So number 1, demand he give you the gate piece. Reminder, strength, reminder, intimidating. What if we chose to side with him? And number 2 is collect the gate shard. Wisdom, reminder, danger sense. So that's weird. Okay. Let me get my D20 out. I'm trying to hurry, so this isn't a long clip, and because we have a lot of stuff going on tonight, I'm going to pick up, I'm going to pick up my gingerbread house blanket and start weeks 3 and 4 on that tonight. I may or may not take a nap before 10 o'clock. We'll see what happens, but all right, I've got my die. So number 1 is demand he give you the gate piece. So if you sided with the priestess, well, I'm not surprised. The priestess is too powerful for you. The only way you could be back here is if you chickened out or sided with her. Since you stand defiant in my presence, you are no coward, but you are stupid. Wow. Take a -4 penalty to your roll. Okay, so this is strength and reminder intimidating. We do not have intimidating, but our strength is a +3, so our total is a -1 to what we roll. Okay. And that is a 19, so we're at an 18. If the result is 15 or more, take the gate shard, let its curse fill you with ineptitude. However, there is no way you will leave through my gate. I will kill you if you try. Proceed to number 2. So collect the gate shard. So we need to do our wisdom roll, reminder, danger sense. This is to avoid being cursed when approaching the shard. So our wisdom is a +3 and we do have danger sense. So we have a +5 and we rolled another 19. Nice. So 24. All right. If the result is 14 or more, the familiar sense of dread fills your head. As you approach near the shard, you avoid letting the magic affect you. So we have officially collected the shard, and I'm guessing we're going to end this week tomorrow with fighting Tall Zoldan to go through his gate, as he calls it. So alrighty, that is all I have for you today. So I'm gonna get things kind of rearranged and set up. There's a lot going on tonight, but I'm very excited to listen to Taylor Swift's Midnights. And based on her track list that's been released, I do have to say I was intrigued by Sweet Nothings, and I am even more intrigued seeing that her and Joe wrote it together. It has his pen name, William Bowery, on it. And the songs that he worked on Folklore and Evermore were some of my favorites off the album. So apparently I just really enjoy the way him and Taylor Swift collaborate on songs. And that's not something I usually look at until after I listen to the album for a little bit. And then I'll look at who kind of produced it and wrote it, and so I can kind of see where it fits in my taste. But I'm very intrigued about that. I don't know. I mean, I was intrigued by Antihero, even more so now that I know it's going to be the first music video, and I think it's going to be the lead single. So I just hope it bops. I mean, let's be honest. I'm excited for all of them. I'm also intrigued by Karma, but I do have to say, Karma is a huge thing in the Taylor Swift thing. There's lots of videos and TikToks about the conspiracy and the theory of karma. I never really got too much into it. I don't do the sleuthing myself. I more watch what the sleuthers find, their takes on them. My favorite who I found and who was one of the reasons I created a TikTok account was Swift Talk Detective. I'll link her TikTok down below. I found this thanks to the 13 podcast fan podcast. And she always felt like Karma wasn't an album. But that there was a missing album between Lover and Folklore, but because of the pandemic and everything. So there's a lot of seemingly hints and Easter eggs that Midnights was supposed to be before Folklore, but then the pandemic happened, so things changed. And she ended up surprise writing Folklore and Evermore. So I kind of am feeling like that's how things are going out. But on Karma, people talk about Karma and how it relates to Kim and Kanye and that whole thing. But in my head, everyone always especially when relating with Taylor Swift, talks about karma and, you know, getting justice against them and the people who did her wrong and Scooter Braun and Scott Borchetta and all of these things. And when she announced the song Karma, I mean, I'm not a super active commenter in a lot of the Swiftie stuff. And so I've mostly just talked to the air around me about this, but these are all songs written new. None of these are vault songs, but they are songs reflecting on times throughout her life. But my thought, and if it ends up not being this, I'm okay with that. But I feel like people forget that there's good karma too. That if you're a good person and it just seems like bad stuff consistently happens to you, or you just constantly kind of seem stuck in a rut, eventually good will come. And there's good, like karma is just what goes around comes around, whether it's good, bad, negative, happy, sad, like whatever it is, everything comes in its cycles. And I feel like people forget that karma has a good side. And like, yes, there's this the karmic sayings about bad karma that are very popular in today's vernacular, but growing up, I heard more good karmic sayings. And so I don't know when or how the switch happened in pop culture, but I want it to be a song about good karma, about karma coming back to her for the good things that have happened. I mean, heck, maybe it'll be karma about all of these relationships that have ended tumultuously for her. And then she ended up with Joe, and how, you know, karma eventually kind of righted itself and she ended up back in a cycle with a good relationship. Or it doesn't have to be about that specifically, but I want it to be the good side of karma, because I feel like so many people get stuck on the bad side of karma. And I'm like, you forget karma is good too. Karma's just not bad. So I hope Karma is a good take on karma. Because I also feel like because it's pushed so much in the other way in the fandom, and my voice isn't loud enough to amplify my thoughts on it being potentially good karma. I don't know. But I hope that makes sense, because in my head it makes sense. And it's kind of what I really, really want, but we'll see what happens. So I'm like cautiously optimistic about the song Karma. Plus, I just love the fact that whether karma is a real thing or not, it officially is now. And it could very much be her trolling all of her fans, which I love. So, you know, give me Taylor Swift the troll any day, because I don't know. I just love it. Plus, she's a crazy cat lady like me, so, you know. Plus, we're both 89-liners, so I don't know. And that was me saying, I don't consider myself a Swiftie, but let me rant at you about Taylor Swift, or just go off on you about Taylor Swift for several minutes. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'll probably let you know in tomorrow's update what I thought. I might film a full video just on my thoughts in general. But I'm excited, and I hope you are too. So, see. Hello, happy Friday, happy Midnight's Day. I'm surprised I have not crashed yet. It's just before 6 o'clock, and I'm running on like 3.5 hours of sleep. But I did my live show with the 13 podcast last night, and I participated in the listening to the album for the first time, and it was really fun. I mean, there were a lot of comments, so it wasn't as interactive, but it was fun to kind of just see everybody's. I'm very much so, the first time I listen to a song, I just kind of want to close off and not pay attention. I find myself kind of missing things a little bit, or missing lyrics, because I was like watching them, or I was trying to pay attention to if the song was almost done so I could pause it so I didn't get ahead, because I was listening to it on Spotify and I didn't want it to just keep playing. And then I also wanted to see what other people were saying in the thing. So I don't think there's a song on the album that I will probably ever skip unless it's like a mood-based thing. It's a new vibe for sure. But I enjoy Taylor Swift for her lyricism and the way that she can tell a story, and just, I guess they're pretty much the same thing, and this album I feel like knocks it out of the park. I will say, outside of a couple of songs, this album didn't grab me. When 1989 and Reputation came out, I was like immediately hooked. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite album. Like, my mind was blown, and I just was voraciously just like, oh my god, I can't stop. Especially Reputation. I can't tell you, because at that time when Reputation came out, I was still riding the bus, because it was when I first moved back to Fort Collins, and I didn't have a car yet, and so I was riding the bus, and I used to listen to the album on my way home every single night. In the morning, I switched it up. I would listen to some songs from it and some other songs just to kind of, start the day off right and get my mix. But for like 2.5 months, I listened to Reputation, the full album, every day on the way home. And I would take the long way so that I would be able to finish the song as either I was approaching my apartment building, I was already home and just had a little bit of the song left, so I would just finish it, or like I had it timed right, so I would kind of do a roundabout way, and my walk would take 10 minutes longer, but so I could finish the entire album on my walk home from the bus stop. And I could have taken another bus, and then it was quicker for me to walk home instead of take a bus and then transfer to another bus. It was cheaper for me it was faster for me to take the bus that kind of runs through the center of the town, and then just walk home from there. So, but yeah, the first time, and that album really spoke to me. This album, I feel like, is kind of like Folklore and Evermore, where I enjoyed it. Some of the songs definitely pulled me right away, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to listen to them again. But I feel like I have to kind of sit with it for a minute, listen to it a few times, and really kind of learn who the album is. And I don't know, I was going to just talk about it here, about my thoughts of the songs, and I did as I listened to the songs, and as you heard, I was kind of all over the place during that initial listen with the live show. But I rated each song. The lowest rating I had was an 8.0, and I did it out of 10. And I had 110 the first listen through. But then after the live show ended, I was like, okay, I pulled up the lyrics and I re-listened to each song. I stuck it to just that, and I adjusted my ratings, and then I at that point it was like midnight my time. And I knew at 1 o'clock whatever chaotic announcement was coming. So then I was like, okay, I'll work on my rankings. And it was really, really hard to figure out. But I did my initial rankings of the album. And then I kept it at that because I didn't want to keep listening and maybe listen to one song more than the other and have it sway my initial thoughts of the album. So I kept it to just the first listen during the live show, and then the second listen, just me and my kitty and the lyrics pulled up, reading the lyrics while listening to the song. I have my super nice headphones that I wore for it. And I ended up with 2 10.0 songs, and then my lowest rating, I still do have an 8, and only one song actually went down. The one that's an 8 now is not the same one that was an 8 beforehand. It dropped from an 8.25 to an 8, but the other 8 went up to a 9.25. So my rating, so once I could actually like see the lyrics and really listen and focus 100% on the music, my ratings definitely changed. But then the super secret announcement, if you did not know, if you just knew about album like Midnight's dropping and you didn't really care about Taylor Swift, she announced at 1 o'clock my time, so 3 a.m., the basically deluxe version of the album, and added 7 more songs, and it's the 3 a.m. edition. So then I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I was trying to find them. And then you had to go to, if you want to listen to them outside of going to like iTunes or something, if you're on Spotify and you want to listen to them and you can't find the 3 a.m. editions version of Midnight's, look at the Taylor Swift Complete Collection playlist, which is one of the 2 playlists I usually listen to at work if I'm not listening to podcasts. But I'll link that playlist down below if you just want to click on it. And in that, it has all 20 tracks. So then the 13 podcasts, they're not just mine, but they're my favorite Taylor Swift podcasts. I've tried a few different ones and none of them really, I got kind of annoyed about different things about other ones than these guys I just really enjoy. But anyway, they went live again, and so we were able to listen to all of the 7, and then I did my second listen through. Well, no, I didn't do my second listen through, and then I kind of went to bed, and it took a while for me to kind of wind down. So when I got home from work today, I did my second listen through, because when I was looking at the lyrics site last night, they didn't have the extra songs yet. So I had to wait until this got uploaded to see, or to read and listen my second time. So I feel like I'm gonna like sneeze or something, but it's not actually happening. It's just like tickling me. So yeah, I have all of my notes, and I was working on a pretty graphic, and I was gonna go over all that with you, but then I was like, this is gonna be long, and I know I'm gonna want to talk about some lyrics, especially for my favorite of both sections, but especially my favorite off the original 13. And so I decided I'm just gonna film a separate clip, and my rankings may change over the next month or whoever. I was going to start Bitten last night. I did not start Bitten, so I have to read it this weekend. But let's just get to a couple things I have to unbox and show you, and then we'll do the quest calendar and wrap up in my post-game show, my pre-game show for the Avalanche that play tonight. I'm wearing one of my older style jerseys. Starts in 6 minutes. So, the new Crochet World magazine is out. This is the December edition, I believe. Yep, December. This one doesn't have, it has a lot of thread things, but if you want to see the patterns, so I'll just do half and half. So there's the first chunk of patterns, and then there's the bottom chunk. Not as much is speaking to me, but I really like this like table runner. Let me see if I can find it. Let me just look up that page number, 46. This table runner, I think it's super cute. And it's just a graph. So I think that would be super fun to make. Like I could even change this to like intarsia or a C to C pattern, a corner to quarter pattern. That's what C to C is. Or even do like a mosaic. Try to change it to do a mosaic crochet pattern or something like that. So that's super cute. And then I'm not a doily person and I don't really work with thread, but I thought this tree skirt was super cute because you have Santa and the reindeer. Although I would want some to like do lines to show that they're like going to each other. But then each of the things like a barn, a church, and this one's just trees and some deer on the ground and a snowman. So I love that they're all like slightly different. And they have the graphs in here. So I might, and this is filet crochet, which I have been wanting to kind of experiment more with lately. So I might take like a corner or two and kind of do something fun with it. But, you know, the never ending list of projects I'd like to make or in projects and books I'd like to read are probably even. So there's that. I'll link Crochet World to their website down below if you are interested in that. Although I feel like most Crochet Worlds, I've seen them in my local Joann's, so I'm sure it'll probably be in whatever local craft store you have too, because it's one of the big crochet magazines. And then I got my other two thrift book packages, so I figured I would just open them here with you. I'm going to take out the note I have to double check what they have for how they're supposed to look. So one has one and the other has a lot more than one. I don't even remember. Okay. All right. So this one. Rancher's Surrender. So this is one of Jill Chavez's silhouette books. And look at the horse on it. Oh my god. This is I enjoyed this, but this is definitely like an older, like 1999. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy I found a copy, and this is in excellent condition. I am so happy that I was able to find a copy of this in this good of condition. Oh my gosh. My Jill Chavez collection is growing. I'm so excited. Oh. Okay. So, and that one said, let's see, it was in very good condition, and I would agree. That is in excellent condition. Even more so for how old it is. So, alright. Looks like this one's got 5 books in it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's do... Alright. Oh, cool. So, book 4, Immortals After Dark. Ooh, I didn't realize that was like hollow. Cool. So this is book 4, Dark Needs and Night's Edge. Immortals After Dark. I'm glad it came in this cover. This was supposed to be in good condition. I would say, yeah, the back's a little beat up. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's like super wrinkly and you can tell it's been damaged quite a bit. But maybe if you look on the inside here, it's all like wrinkly and crazy. But it's in, the front's pretty. And that's what matters the most to me. And the binding looks okay. So, yay! So now I can read that one in book 3 and book 5 in order. Oh no! Alright, I'm going to be emailing them about this one. So this is Second Chance Summer by Jill Shalvis. This is the first book in her Cedar Ridge series. This is supposed to be in like new condition. This is not like new. So I'm going to email them for sure on this one. And they'll either refund me or send a copy. So, but I mentioned it when I opened the other package. I don't remember if that was in this week's vlog or in last week's. This is set in the mountains. And it's like an adventure ranch place. And resort. Oh, it's in Cedar Ridge, Colorado. That's right. That's why I picked up the series originally, because it was set in Colorado. And then this is the third book in the series and the final book, Nobody But You. And this one is also supposed to be in like new condition. And I mean, this isn't like new. This looks absolutely new. I guess there's a little bit of damage there, but that can happen. And there's a little stain. It's a little discolored, but okay, like new. No, that is how it's supposed to be. Okay, and then The Trouble with Paradise. This is a standalone of hers. Okay, this is one that I have not read from her. I don't believe. Because Dory went on a trip on a singles cruise to Fiji. Okay. Dory's dream vacation is about to take the biggest detour yet. A violent storm has wrecked the ship and cast everyone ashore. A deserted island would be the perfect setting for a steamy romance if something sinister wasn't lurking. Interesting. Okay. I'm intrigued. And I love that it says best-selling author of Slow Heat. She has a duology that's baseball. Two of my favorite of her earlier books, Slow Heat and the other one, are so good. I wish she would write more. And this is the Harlequin duets that has Kiss Me Katie and Hug Me Holly. Oh my gosh. Okay, it is cracked in the middle. This one's supposed to be in very good condition. I'd say, I mean, I'd say it's good, not very good, because there's a lot of wrinkles, but it's enough that I don't, well, I guess the book, it's been bent here. I guess I don't know. Since I'm already emailing them about the other one, I might as well mention this one. But maybe I'll just say this one doesn't bother me as much. It's the other one. This is a duet that I adored. I love these two books. Oh my gosh. So the first one is the hero is a stunt pilot and it's wrong man, right kiss. And she kisses the wrong person under the mistletoe and it's theirs. And then Hug Me Holly is a sheriff and a cafe runner. She runs a cafe. And she has a nickname called Calamity Holly. So these two were two of my favorites of her Harlequins, and I can't remember if these are also separately, but if there's ones like this that I loved that also were released by themselves and not one of the duets. I definitely want to collect the single versions as well, but that's because this endeavor is a collector's thing and not an I love the books thing. Although, well, it's both. It's both. But it is also me getting multiples of the books as the collector's thing. So that is, you know, for 11 books from Thrift Books and having really only the disappointment being that's not bad. I mean, and outside of that rip, and this rip could have happened when they were packaging it. So this book could have been like new. I mean, it's not as like new as the other one, but it's definitely close enough outside of that. So maybe that happened when they were packaging the books to ship them. I don't know why I set that one over there. So that is it for Thrift Books. So yesterday we went back to Tal Zodar. We did get the gate shard. So let us see what happens today. Wait a second. I turned it on. I just leave my TV on altitude. And you bet tonight is on. Because they're on altitude too. I hate it when they schedule the Nuggets and the Avalanche to play at the same time. And now I'll have to figure out what channel they're on the radio. Because if it's on their FM, because they have an FM, a 92.5, and then they have an AM, which is 950. And the 92.5 I can pull up on my Amazon A, and my 950 I have to pull up the app on my phone to listen to. So I'll have to figure that out for the after shows. But anyway. Looks like there's ice spikes on the ceiling. I don't know. Stalactites or stalagmites. I can't remember which one's up and which one's down. But let's see what it says. Tal Zoldan moves to block you from passing through the gate. The creature then calls upon his magic, and a beam of energy blasts from its main eye and hits the ceiling. Several ice spikes rain down upon you. Avoid the sharp falling ice spikes. Roll a d20 plus dexterity. Reminder, danger sense. And we do have danger sense. So that is a plus. And dexterity is our best skill, and that's a +6. So we have a total of a +8. They're interviewing EJ right now, and he's one of my favorite players. And my closed captioning isn't on, so that sucks. Okay, 18. We should be good. So that is 26. If the result is 21 or more, you expertly dodge all of the spikes. That's probably been the highest. And this one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections for one check. So that's a lot of different ones, but it all has different damage. But we were good enough that we took no damage. And I think that is all I have for you. So thank you so much for watching this long clip. I know we started out the week with a freaking almost hour-long clip. I'm sorry these are so long. I need to get better, but I like talking to you out into the ether, and that was a total squirrel moment because something shiny is on the TV. They have one of the Stanley Cup championship rings, and they have it there at the desk. They're doing the face-off show from the rink. Those rings are nice. Those rings are very nice. They're very, very nice. You can get a fan replica-ish version for like $11,000-$12,000. Which is a lot of money. But anyway, I totally just got distracted. I'm sorry. and this just keeps getting longer. Thank you so much for making your way through this week with me. Hopefully my reading will kind of pick up. Oh, that's right. I was putting together a list. I was working on it earlier too. Of the books I need to read to finish Bang in the Night. Bingo. So I do also want to mention that I had said yesterday or a couple clips ago, I'm doing Safe With You. I did that as character in costume for Bang in the Night, but I'm changing that to orange in the cover because I can pick up a novella where they're at a Halloween party and there's dressing up, and it's harder to find an orange cover because it's not orange on the cover, it's orange cover. So I'm switching this one down to orange cover to open that slot back up. But I need, if you have a holiday novella or a short book, I'm looking at 200 or less because I'm going to have to cram these in by the end of the month. I need something relating to twins and something that has dark in the title. So if you have a rec for me, let me know down below because I definitely will have time after this goes up to pick up one of those. And I will probably be doing a lot of novella cramming over the next week and a half. But I'm hoping to get that done. And I'm already almost done with the first board for Fall in Love. I only need 2 or 3 more prompts. And I only needed one more that I didn't already have planned for a book to pick up coming up. And I found a holiday novella. And it's sports romance. And I found a Halloween novella today, and it was actually a new release. I don't know when it came out, but I know it's new because the author emailed about it today. And the hero is a football player or a sports ball player of some type. Halloween novella that also has the sports person. It's what I needed in my life right now. So anyway, let me know down below if you have an option. If you don't, that's fine. Leave me something hockey related. Snow, ice, a hockey stick, a hockey puck, something, because my boys are about to play and I'm getting completely distracted by them by their warm up on the TV. But like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all next week with hopefully a shorter vlog.